related matters. We want to provide some clarification on what this enhanced testing program is. There are also concerns about providing for the homeless and the vulnerable at this point in time, especially when in about 40 MMDAs we have imposed restrictions. How are we providing for the homeless and the vulnerable? Some answers to provide on that. The government of Ghana is also rolling out a COVID-19 information contact center to make it easier for flow of information also at the retail level. And I'll give you some more details on that. And then finally, if you are paying attention to our official website that we're using for this purpose, the Ghana Health Service website, you'll notice that we are providing some further nuancing or further details in terms of the information we put out. So the 161 updated us at last night. You find that there's a deeper detail and would explain why we are providing some more details in that regard. It's been 55 hours since the imposition of restrictions on movement in about 40 MMDAs in the Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi areas. The restrictions were imposed for two main purposes. One, to slow down or to halt a potential community spread. To slow it down or to halt it. Two, and more importantly, to embark on an enhanced testing program. The restrictions are being enforced by a joint police-military operation, and this morning, about 55 hours into it, I'm sure you have come across a number of specific narratives in the mass media and on social media about compliance and enforcement. It is, however, important also to give you the bird's eye view, the big picture of compliance and enforcement beyond the specifics that you may have seen on television or on social media. I want to invite Brigadier General A.Y. Insia, General Officer Commanding, Headquarters, Southern Command, Bishi Ridge, Accra, to give us a quick update on one. Brigadier General, please join us. And please use our sanitizers, etc. before you start and when you are done.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Information, Honorable Kojo Opon Kroma, who is my learned colleague. We were both called to the bar on the same day. My fellow Ghanaians, it is my pleasure and honor to come to your home this morning to give an update of our deployment to ensure the compliance of the directive that will ensure that we minimize the spread of this pandemic. First of all, I want to say that so far, so good. We are achieving the objective that we set for ourselves. Generally, our population is complying. Of course, in every situation, when it begins, people may not understand what it is. So obviously, some few of them might fall victim to the law. And we are trying our best to make sure everybody understands why this restriction have been imposed. First of all, I will say that Accra have been put into zones, and we have forward operating bases where we have positioned soldiers and the police. We have various points to ensure that those who do not need to come out stay at home. The checkpoints have been very effective. We have several of them. I do not need to go into details about them. They are doing their job both day and night. We have static points at certain places. We have patrols at certain points. There are other areas that we have some challenge because the population there are not cooperating. But I can assure you, as at this point, everybody understands. And situation is gone to the level that we expect. My expectation is that by tomorrow morning, you have less vehicles and less human beings on the roads. That one I can assure you. The measures we put in place is very effective. I must also emphasize that some videos is gone viral concerning some brutalities being meted out by soldiers to some civilians. Let me assure my fellow Ghanaians that the soldiers that you have are well trained, they are professionals, they don't brutalize. We have deployed close to 1,000 soldiers in the field. Out of this number, we have had one incident, and that incident had nothing to do with slapping. It is something that we thought is not of our standard, and that we are dealing with it. That soldier involved currently have been withdrawn back to the barracks, and I have tasked the military police to go into the matter and investigate. So all the videos you are seeing, they are false. I do not know the intention behind it. But whatever it is, be assured that your soldiers are professionals. They don't brutalize. We don't allow it, and we are never going to allow it. I go around myself and educate them. Before the deployment, I tasked the head of the legal department of the Ghana Army to go to the centers where we camp them before we deploy them to town. 4 training centers, one in Bema, 2 in Bema camp, Arakan and the Barras, then 1 in Weji Barras, then 1 in Michel camp. He went around and educated them about our rules of engagement, because it's very key to us. I personally went around myself. The commanding officers also spoke to them. So it is never true that our soldiers have been brutalizing our guns. We will not do it. We those in command will not put it. I want to emphasize that most of us Ghanaians are religious. We are either Christians or Muslims or traditional religious worshippers. And we know that lies about somebody is something that God does not permit. So those who are doing it, I don't know what your agenda is. Please, God does not permit what you are doing. Stop it. And let's encourage our officers and men in the field. Let's encourage them to do the job and do it well. I have got tremendous support from some of the MCEs. They assisted me to get the forward operating bases, and they visit the villages regularly. These are the sort of collaboration we want from you Ghanaians. Not the type of thing you put on the social media to run us down. Discourage the soldiers who are doing their best to ensure that we all prevent or curtail the spread of this pandemic. Let us support the soldiers in the field. It is in our own interest that we support them. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for the opportunity.